countdown clock is rapidly ticking down to round one, and we want to have a look at the first two games. The season opener between Richmond and Carlton, the MCG, March 16th, Thursday night. It's going to be an absolute beauty. Jace, I'll come to you first. Last year, it took 3.5 quarters, but guess what happened? Carlton ended up beating Richmond, but steamrolling them by a big margin. Do you see that happening again?
There'd been a long time between drinks before they got that win last year, and you know I grew up as a Carlton supporter, so I do have a soft spot for them. I just think Richmond's a lot better prepared this time around, and we spoke earlier, I've still got some concerns about the way they structure up the Blues. I don't know what they do with Mitch McGovern. Honestly, what role is he going to play? Zach Williams hasn't given them anything. He's out injured for the season again. Sam Walsh is out injured. I just think this isn't the ideal preparation for them.
Well, I'm bullish. Richmond or Carlton for you? Which way are you leaning?
Well, we saw what happened in round one last year, that in the last quarter, that Carlton completely got on top in the midfield, won about 10 centre clearances in a row, and that's where all those goals came from. This year, Richmond obviously has seen that as a weakness. They know they were ranked bottom 4 for clearance differential last year, so in comes Taranto, in comes Hopper, straight away straightens that up, helps protect the defence a little bit more. And the other guy who's almost a new recruit is Dustin Martin. Only played 8 games last year, so he's a big X factor, and he loves the big stage at the MCG on the Thursday night.
All right, Geelong opens its title defence against Collingwood at the MCG Friday night, March 17th. I'm bullish on Collingwood. I know you're not, but you see Geelong just winning this one, Jason?
Well, it's a tough one. I mean, they haven't had the ideal preparation, I don't think, as far as a few of their players are concerned. Tom Hawkins certainly is one of those for the Cats, but they're such a professional side and they get so many players carrying the load. They don't rely on 1 or 2 players. We don't know what the impact of losing Joel Selwood's going to be yet. I mean, there is a leader of men that just played with all his heart and all his soul out there. So there's plenty there that I think will pick up and run with that style of leadership. But I think they'll get challenged by Collingwood. I hope it's a cracking game.
What about Geelong? We say lose Selwood and then they throw Sava Radaglia down back and he just looks like he's been there for 10 years.
And they bring in, I mean, you talk about a professional team. Yeah. It's the entire club. Like the recruiting team just, was almost criminal what they pulled off around the draft and the trade period last year. They bring in someone like Tanner Bruhn, throw him in the pre-season games and he wins 5 clearances and is nearly their best midfielder. So, as you say, Geelong they move better at anybody at moving the pieces around the chessboard and making it work.
Do you think McStay's going to make a difference up front?
Not really. I've got to be brutally honest. Look, and this is no disrespect to Dan McStay, who's a good-sized player that competes really hard, but he never had that big impact at Brisbane. Why all of a sudden do we think he'll come and fix all of Collingwood's problems? I don't get that. You're asking a lot. He doesn't have a heap of support there. If he gets a couple of tough days, how's his confidence going to be? I just think it's a really tough position for him to be in because everyone's thinking he's the panacea that's going to fix all their issues.
What about Collingwood? We talked about their tight finishes last year and getting over the line. I don't think it was a fluke. I think it was their system. So do you think that they can obviously improve on that?
Well, someone was down at training at Collingwood, like this is in January, and Craig McRae was yelling at them, there's 2 minutes to go, we're 5 points behind, and that's how they train. So it's not just luck, but I mean, there's so many variables in an AFL game that it can't go your way every single time. So correct. I think what they did last year was incredible, but you can't expect them to win all of those games.
No, all teams practice those last-minute drills to go. You know that. Yeah. But to win 11 games by under 2, that's probably going to be a 5-6, 6-5 split next time around. So all of a sudden there's 5 wins they don't have.
What about Geelong? So they went on that incredible run where they weren't beaten. Can they do that again? Do you see them dropping 1 or 2 games this year?
I mean, it's hard to see it now, but I mean, probably at some stage something will happen that we're not expecting. But I mean, yeah, they're just such a good club, such a professional outfit that I can't see them not challenging.
All right, well, everything I've said today you've shot down.
No, I haven't. We're just having healthy debate.
No, healthy debate. So I've tipped Carlton to make the top 4 and Collingwood to stay there, and you're off both teams as well. But it's been outstanding. Thanks very much for having you on, Jason. Al, outstanding once again. And let's have a look at the round 1 tips. So these guys are going with Richmond. I'm going with Carlton, and I'm pretty bullish on that one. And we're all going with Geelong. So as we look at it now, Geelong are going to be hard to beat. So they look like they're going to go back to back.
Footy is life. It's loyalty, rivalry, love and pain. Footy is everything. That's why we've made a betting brand for footy fans. That's better. Gamble responsibly.